Didcot Power Station refers to a combined coal and oil power plant and a natural gas power plant that supply the national grid. They are situated immediately adjoining one another in the civil parish of Sutton Courtenay, next to the town of Didcot in Oxfordshire, in the UK. The combined power stations feature a chimney which is one of the tallest structures in the UK, and 3 hyperbolic cooling towers, which can be seen from much of the surrounding landscape. Didcot A history. Didcot A Power Station was a coal and gas-fired power station, which ceased operation on March 22, 2013. Designed by architect Frederick Gibbard, a vote was held in Didcot and surrounding villages on whether the power station should be built. There was strong opposition from Sutton Courtenay, but the yes vote was carried, due to the number of jobs that would be created in the area. Building was started on the 2000 DMWE power station for the Central Electricity Generating Board CEGB during 1964, and was completed in 1968 at a cost of £104 million, with up to 2,400 workers being employed at peak times. It is located on a 300 acres site formerly part of the Ministry of Defence Central Ordnance Depot. The main chimney is 650 ft tall with the 6 cooling towers 375 ft each. English Heritage declined to give listed building status to Didcot A Power Station in 2013. Though it recognised there were some interesting features, for example the carefully designed setting and Gibbard's detailing, there were better examples elsewhere. Operation: the station used 500 MWE generating units. In 2003 Didcot A burned 3.7 mt of coal. The station burned mostly pulverized coal, but also co-fired with natural gas. Didcot was the first large power station to be converted to have this function. In addition, a small amount of biomass, such as sawdust, was burnt at the plant. This was introduced to try to depend more on renewable sources following the introduction of the Kyoto Protocol and, in April 2002, the renewables obligation. It was hoped that biomass would replace 2% of coal burnt. In 1996 and 1997, Thales UK was awarded contracts by Energy to implement the APMS supervisory and control system on all of the 4 units, then allowing to have optimized emissions monitoring and reporting. Between 2005 and 2007 Didcot installed overfire air systems on the 4 boilers to reduce emissions of nitrous oxide. This ensured compliance with the Large Combustion Plant Directive. Some ash from Didcot A was used to manufacture building blocks at a factory on the adjacent Milton Park and transported to Thatcham for the manufacture of thermalite aerated breeze blocks using both decarbonised fly and raw ash, but most was mixed with water and pumped via a pipeline to former quarries in Radley. Environmental protests. On the morning of Thursday 2 November 2006, 30 Greenpeace trespassers invaded the power station. One group chained themselves to a broken coal-carrying conveyor belt. A second group scaled the 650 ft high chimney, and set up a climate camp. They proceeded to paint Blair's legacy on the side of the chimney overlooking the town. Greenpeace claimed Didcot Power Station is the second most polluting in Britain after Drax in Yorkshire, whilst Friends of the Earth describe it as the 9th worst in the UK. A similar protest occurred early on October 26, 2009, when 9 climate change protesters climbed the chimney, and 11 chained themselves to the coal delivery conveyors. The latter group were cut free by police after 5 hours, but the former waited until October 28 before coming down again. All 20 were arrested, and power supplies continued uninterrupted. The power station was installing improved security fencing at the time. 2013 closure. Didcot A opted out of the Large Combustion Plant Directive, which meant it was only be allowed to run for up to 20,000 hours after January 1, 2008 and must close by December 31, 2015 at the latest. The decision was made not to install flue gas desulfurization equipment, which would have allowed continued generation. Studies did continue into whether there was a possibility that Didcot A might be modernized with new super-clean coal burning capabilities. With RWE partly involved in the study, However, in September 2012 RWE announced that Didcot A, using its current coal-burning capabilities, would close at the end of March 2013. On March 22, 2013, Didcot A closed and the decommissioning process began. Demolition: the 3 southern cooling towers of Didcot A were demolished by explosives on Sunday 27 July 2014 at 5:01 BST. The contractors had insisted that the demolition would take place between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. The 5.01 am action was seen as them thumbing their nose at the public who had asked for a 6 a.m. or later demolition. There had been a campaign to move the time of the demolition to 6 a.m. or later to enable local people to watch the demolition, but RWE refused. Despite the early morning demolition, many thousands of people turned out locally to watch from numerous vantage points, as well as those who watched the towers come down via a live internet stream, and the event trended heavily on Twitter with the hashtag Didcot Demolition. Didcot B history: Didcot B is the newer sibling initially owned by National Power, constructed from 1994-7 by Siemens and Atlantic Projects, and uses a type power plant to generate up to 1,360 MWe of electricity. It opened in July 1997. There has been some controversy locally that the access for the site was originally agreed to be via the site entrance for Didcot A on Basil Hill Road. However, the temporary access using the former National Grid Stores access road is still in use. Specification: it consists of 2 680 MWe modules, each with two 230 MW SGT5-4000F Siemens gas turbines and 2 heat recovery steam generators, built by International Combustion, and a steam turbine. Closure: owners RWE announced on January 9, 2014 that modules 5 and 6 of Didcot B will cease generation by December 31, 2023 at the latest, to comply with the European Industrial Emissions Directive, which takes effect as of January 2016. It is however possible that the life of these modules will be extended if RWE decide to install equipment to further reduce emissions of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. Ownership: following privatization of the CEGB in the early 1990s, Didcot A passed into the control of what became National Power, who also started construction of Didcot B. Following demerger, the plant passed to Innogy, and following the takeover of Innogy by RWE in 2002, ownership passed to NPOWER. Architectural reception: Didcot A won a Civic Trust Award in 1968 for how well it blended into the landscape, following its construction. It was voted Britain's third worst eyesore in 2003 by Country Life readers. Radio Oxford received votes for the station when they conducted a survey of the worst building in Oxfordshire, with some listeners referring to it as looking like somewhere up north. British poet Kit Wright has written an ode to Didcot Power Station using a parodic style akin to that of the early Romantic poets. See also, List of tallest buildings and structures in Great Britain, Energy use and conservation in the United Kingdom, Energy policy of the United Kingdom, references. External links: map sources for Didcot Power Stations, Power Stations visits Didcot A Power Stations visits Didcot A for students, APMS, Advanced Plant Management System, architectural views, other CCGTs in southern England.